This next interview is a part of the Food on Demand series, a collection of conversations that was held live on the conference showroom floor of the Food on Demand conference in Las Vegas, Nevada in May of 2024. Our next guest in the Food on Demand series is one of Food on Demand's outstanding operators for 2024, Costa Vida. We are joined by Executive Vice President Wade Allen and Director of Off-Premise, Alan Beck. With over 100 total locations, we talk about Costa Vida's channel mix boasting 60% off-premise, the aspects a restaurant brand should focus on when updating their website and native application, and we close things out getting some insight from Wade on his favorite Costa Vida menu item. Let's get into the conversation. I appreciate you guys, the relationship, partnership, obviously, Deliver That and Costa Vida have been able to cultivate over the past few years. I wanted to ask about first your guys' relationship, if you don't mind. How did you guys know each other prior to your time at Costa Vida? I feel like the Salt Lake City area is usually like a close-knit crew outside of business as well.
Yeah, I knew of Allen, right? I was working for Brinker and I was living in Texas, but I had met Allen probably a year or so, maybe 6 months before. I met him at a show, big as life, gave me a bunch of Costa Vida gift cards, He has a story. I don't know if he'll tell it on this conversation, but he's missing his ring finger.
Yeah.
And he's notorious in the circles that I hang out with of the guy that lost his finger dunking a basketball. And I didn't know it was Allen. And then I learned about it and I was like, holy cow. So we kind of knew each other before. And then since we've been together, it's kind of been, Laurel and Hardy, right? Like,
yeah, we came to Salt Lake at the end of last year, I think October, November. Yeah. He showed us the picture of the finger.
Yeah, it was insane.
It's gruesome.
It's not great.
Bad.
It's not great for the people at home. I don't know if you want to see that. I'm not going to pull it up for you. It is crazy. Costa Vida, Food on Demand's outstanding operator, announced January 2024. Congratulations. Obviously, a massive announcement and a big thing for you guys' brand. Feel like you guys have snowballed and started to steamroll in an amazing direction over the past few months and the past couple of years in general. I want to start first in your terms of like expansion. I know you guys had goals at the end of last year. I believe you got to 100 total locations in the U.S. and internationally, with a couple outside the United States. What are the plans for expansion so far for Costa Vida moving forward through 2024 and beyond?
I'll take that one.
Yeah,
all right.
Take it.
So, yeah, I think our goal is obviously growth. We're after that. We also know the foundations of restaurants have to start with operational excellence. And so before we jump into this high growth mode, and you'll see it across restaurants, many people actually, they get hoodwinked or they get the head fake and they chase the growth and their operational excellence isn't in place. And so their AUVs suffer. And they actually spend all their money on the growth side and not on actually improving the overall comp numbers. So right now, I'd say for the next year and a half, maybe 2 years, we're hyper focused on getting that foundation super square, right? When we call it operational excellence, it's really 3 pillars: team member empowerment and engagement, right? Allowing the team member to super be engaged in their job and be empowered to do what they can do to help the guest. And then it's all about brand standards and consistency. Because if you grow and you don't have standards in your brand and you're not consistent, you just become a mess, right? You're a different thing to a different person in a different region. And that's what you don't want to be. Best restaurants are the same, whether it's in Boise, Idaho, or, Miami, Florida, right? And then the last one is just really about systems and process improvements. If we're going to support that kind of growth in the future, we got to make sure that our systems are really tight. We got the right support staff, the right overhead that's going to support all these restaurants as we grow. So that's for the next short term. That's where we're focused. Longer term, we see this brand going to hundreds, knock on wood, 1,000 units at some point, and really going after the capital we need to share the awesome Baja flavors that we have with the world, right?
Yeah, and I'll say very candidly, I think with the experience you guys provide, the brand and the people you have on the team, I see 1,000 locations in the horizon on the future. Something you brought up is building that foundation, the fundamental people and processes. You guys are a franchised out concept for the most part with a few corporatized locations as well. Is it difficult to make sure those standards and procedures are built and you have the same customer experience across different franchise groups and different locations? I know there's other concepts that are all 50 states and they have to make sure all those experiences are translated from state to state, city to city. You guys are primarily in Utah, tons of locations, are now branching out a little bit more. as you cross state lines, how do you ensure that that customer experience also traverses those state lines?
Well, I think just piggybacking off of what Wade was just talking about, systems and processes. So as we build out those systems and processes, that's how we're able to keep that consistency across. How, whether it be from the recipes of the food to the standardization of how we cash people out, or on the to-go side, the off-premise side, I'd be amiss if I didn't talk about that. How we're packaging, how we're delivering, how we're getting all that set up. I would say the biggest thing that to be able to keep that consistency, to keep that Utah feel, if you will, is to make sure that we're following the systems and processes that we're putting out there.
I would say accountability too. I mean, I think any operator who watches this understands the importance of accountability. We have standards. We have a brand. It means something to people. We've been successful because of it. Be accountable. Hold the standard. Don't try to change the recipe. Don't try to add a flavor. Don't try to add a different drink. Don't modify it, right? It's worked. We have a system. If you don't like it, you should go somewhere else and actually franchise or model, do something different, right? Yeah. Joe's Taco Shop or somebody else, right? Costa has a feel and a flavor, and that's what we've got to fiercely protect as we grow. Think about the best brands in the world. I don't like to give my competitors airtime, but if you think about Chick-fil-A and you think about Chipotle and you think about some of these other players, they're fiercely defenders of their brand standards and consistency.
Yeah, I think for me, what that entails is like going 1,000 feet deep, not 1,000 feet wide. You want to go north-south, not east-west, and expand in that kind of terms of things. Something that was brought up when we were on site at Costa Vida at the end of last year, the rolling out of the new application, I believe, and website, some new loyalty aspects in that regard of things. I know some consumers were concerned about points translating over, which was able to happen. I want to make sure that's noted. But I just wanted to check in on things. How's the new app been? How's the new website and the customer experience for all the Costa Vida customers?
I think it's been absolutely fantastic. Obviously, with the transition in any technology, there's some growing pains there and some things and issues we had to resolve and overcome, but nothing that was insurmountable. Like, we were able to get it taken care of, and we were able to transition, and the overall reception has been fairly positive. After we went through the growing pains and the transitions, and we were able to make the adjustments and have a very stable application and a great partner, and it's plain air. It's been well received, and we're seeing the conversion from third party to first party incremental movement week over week, month over month.
That's amazing. What were you guys looking for in that new app and new website? Why did you guys have the foundational belief that you needed to change the experience overall for that customer?
My opinion was, or is, you got to be able to take money faster. You got to be able to make the experience super slick and easy. Competition today in the best apps it just kind of happens, right? And so we had a little bit of a friction process with our app. I know a lot of our guests like the old app because they were used to it, and change is always hard. But the reality is, if you compare the two side to side, the visual representation, the speed to order, the ability to reorder, there's Apple Pay, just the capability to get to the guest, get the guest through the experience easier and to transact faster was the primary reason why we needed to overhaul that. And it will continue to be the frontier that we have to continue to press on. 68%, keep me honest.
Yeah, 68.
Is
there you go.
off-premise,
great job.
right? So we live in a world where most of this is going out the side door. And that means people are taking a big focus on ordering at their homes and picking it up at the restaurant or picking it up through the drive-thru.
And just to add to that, all of that, and then the biggest thing that sets Costa apart from all of our partners or our competitors is the ability to customize your order.
Customization. I knew it was coming.
There it is.
I knew it was coming.
And so with the new application, the new website, now we're meeting customers where they're at. They don't, if you have that weird nuance item in your burrito or your salad, maybe you don't want to get it smothered in queso rather than the traditional red enchilada or mild tomatillo sauce. The customization that we're able to do on the app and web now, you're able to do that. We're able to meet the customers where they are. I mean, to Wade's point, we want to reduce that friction. If you want to get your food made a certain way, you want to be able to order that, whether it's through the drive-thru on the app or whether it's coming through the line. You want that experience to be consistent across the board.
Yeah, and you guys mentioned the 68% outside of your guys' four walls.
Yep.
I think on the website or the Food on Demand article about the outstanding operator said like the channel mix was 40, 30, 30, and 40 being the dine-in percentage of those
Yep.
things in nature. So catering, off-premise, drive-through, things of that nature, meeting the customer where they are. What is your guys' belief in making sure that the dine-in experience translates outside of those four walls as well?
I think there's a few different things. The very first thing is you want to make sure that your menu offering travels well. You want to make sure that what you're offering to your customer to consume at home is a similar experience as if they were consuming it in your restaurant. And then a big piece of it, and Wade and I have talked at length about this, is our packaging and making sure that it travels well again, and is presenting that food in a way that is it hot? Is it keeping the temperature? There's really threefold approach that we talk about quite a bit, and that's temperature, quality, and accuracy. If you're hitting on those three things in the off-premise world, drive-through world, you're hitting
pretty
it up.
basic.
That's pretty
right?
straightforward.
Don't miss the items. Get it out hot. Get it out fast. Right. Get a quality product. Have a great packaging that holds heat or keeps it cold. You'll win. Right. Expectation for customers is actually not that high anymore. We've messed it up so bad through COVID, and not us, right? All of us, that the expectation is like, man, just give me the right stuff. Make it lukewarm at best, right? Just give me something that's got a little heat in it, and actually get it to me on a reasonable time frame, and you'll win. So.
I agree. The standards aren't even as high as maybe they used to be.
Yep.
You make it sound so easy, but in reality, it can be pretty difficult at times.
I mean, we say, temperature, quality, and accuracy, right? We break it down very simply, those three, but there's so much underneath each one of those categories that it's not as simple as it may sound.
Yeah, awesome. Guys, I appreciate you coming in, making some time for
Thank
me.
you.
Wade, Allen, thank you so much. Allen, reoccurring guest.
Hey, third time.
Wade,
Third time.
possibly future reoccurring
Maybe
guest.
again. I love it. It'll be fun.
We'll rope you in further down the line. Something I asked Allen on our previous episode that I like to ask operators in regard to their brand and their menu specifically. If you could provide us with your favorite menu item or menu hack at Costa Vida, what would it be?
Alan knows mine. Mine is, I love the small, we call it a small, right? The salad, small raspberry chipotle chicken salad. And when you put a little of the ranch on there, and I get a Costa float, which is basically horchata with a little root beer. I can't find a better meal than that. It's freaking awesome.
There's a big smile when he said
look
that
at
to you. You know it's genuine.
Good.
So good. So good. You got to have it. It's awesome.
So
guys.
good.
Thank you so much for your time, Costa Vida. Deliver that great partnership relationship moving forward. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.